We're back and we're kicking things off with a super depressing film about greed, murder, and power. But is Killers of the Flower Moon the masterpiece that it's propped up to be? Let's get into it. Hey movie fans, I'm Matt, and today we're discussing Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, Robert De Niro, and is directed by one of the GOATs in the film world in Martin Scorsese. Now I'm gonna be honest, it's a little bit weird reviewing one of the greatest directors of all time. In fact, one of my earliest movie memories is a Scorsese film, but that's a different story for a different time. The film is based on the 2017 non-fiction book Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI, written by David Grann. While in no way am I a historian, my limited research suggests that the portrayal of the murders in the film focuses primarily on a single family. Now the story here is undeniably compelling, deliberately evoking a sense of sadness and discomfort. In fact, the film appears to be the type of story that could only originate in the realm of Hollywood, when in actuality it's grounded in the grim reality of the multiple murders of the Osage people in 1920s Oklahoma. This really did happen. Now, several scenes in the film are undeniably visually stunning, and they really do provide a testament to the state of modern filmmaking. And a perfect example of this is the opening minutes of this movie. The entire opening sequence is just so well put together, and it effectively conveys a wealth of information and does a great job of setting the tone in just a few short minutes. And these initial moments might very well be my favorite sequence of the whole film. And then buckle up, because it's a long way to the finish line. But we'll get to that. Leonardo DiCaprio, in his sixth collaboration with Scorsese, plays Ernest Burkhart and delivers a strong performance as expected. Now, if I sound a little subdued by my appreciation of his performance, it's because he's reached a point in his career where he effortlessly embodies the characters he plays on screen. So when I tell you you're going to get a Leonardo DiCaprio performance, you know exactly what you're going to get out of it. Lily Gladstone bursts onto the scene and delivers a very compelling performance in this film. She portrays Molly Burkhart, one of the Osage people in this film, and to be honest, I haven't really had the chance to see her in many other roles before, but that's mainly because her body of work has been so limited. However, her portrayal in this movie will no doubt leave an impression on you. I think the best performance of this film goes to Robert De Niro. He is outstanding in this movie. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a nomination next year for Best Supporting Actor from this role. His portrayal of William King Hale perfectly captures the type of man who will extend the friendly handshake but will conceal his ulterior motives. In many ways, he's the perfect politician. Now, the budget of the film was reportedly $200 million, and I'm starting to question why studios are giving certain directors blank checks these days. And if you know nothing about the film industry, $200 million is an astronomical number to have as your budget. That's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe type of numbers there. Don't get me wrong, Scorsese is probably among just a handful of directors that have earned the right to ask for big budgets. But with that, I'm not sure that necessarily means you give it to them. On the plus side of the big budget number, we get a film that is filled with beautiful set pieces and gorgeous shots and costume designs that are just impeccable. Seriously, the costume design in this movie is just superb. I hope this movie gets nominated in that aspect. But on the negative side of that, we get a film that is ridiculously too long in length. It seems that Scorsese may have buddied up with Zack Snyder and asked a few questions on director's cuts, because it seems that he's completely forgotten that films often benefit from concise editing. Longer doesn't equal better. I said it. Unless you're Zack Snyder's Justice League. Many scenes in this movie tend to linger unnecessarily far too long or lack any substantial relevance at times. And look, I'll spare you the need to ask, Matt, what do you know about filmmaking? Producing and editing these videos is a skill I've continued to develop over the last few months, and sometimes the hardest thing to do is to cut something out for the sake of making a better video. Now let me make this clear, I am in no way comparing myself to Martin Scorsese. I'm just talking about some editing. Scorsese's a GOAT, please, okay? Don't come at me that hard. I get it. One of Scorsese's distinctive directorial styles involves numerous edits that directly correlate with the ongoing dialogue or action within the scene. And while I appreciate this filmmaking approach, especially with Scorsese movies, There are instances in this film where it revisits events from over an hour and a half ago. And it's these callbacks in the film that are just redundant, and the pacing could have benefited from addressing them earlier in the film or taking them out completely. And something I talk about on this channel all the time is that movies aren't inherently subjective, and I respect all differing opinions on them. But I'd particularly like to engage with the people who consider this film a masterpiece. I'm curious to know what elements on screen elevated it to that level for you. As with my own experience, it's not negative, it just isn't the oh my gosh great type of level. Look, the movie is fine, and that probably sounds worse than what I mean. When you have a director with a body of work such as Scorsese, it can be challenging to identify the absolute best among their films. For me, Killers of the Flower Moon doesn't even reach top 3 for me. Not even top 5, maybe top 10. Maybe that's where the discussion begins. But even at this moment, I don't have a strong urge to revisit it. It reminds me of Scorsese's last film, The Irishman. You watch it once, if you made it through the lengthy runtime of 4 hours, and then there's really not much desire for a second viewing. It's not like a Casino or a Goodfellas. So if you've made it this far, you're probably wondering if I would recommend this film to you. And to be honest, I'm torn. As much as I've complained about Killers of the Flower Moon's length or lack of editing, it's not a bad film. So if you're a cinephile or a massive Scorsese, DiCaprio, or De Niro fan, then yeah, I'd say check it out. If you're not, then you could probably skip it. And no, I didn't have to pee, and that's why the length got to me. What do you think, this is my first day on the job? As always, I encourage you to watch the film and form your own opinion though. Let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments below and have your voices heard. Also, if you like this review, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to get a new movie review from me every week. Next time, the pseudo-sequel to Freddy Got Fingered arrives with Five Nights at Freddy's. Wait, that's not right. Now, I have very low expectations for this movie, especially because it came out in theaters and on Peacock on the same day. And I know we're about to hit December, so you're like, why are we going back to spooky season? Well, I'm back and I'm trying to do some catch-up. I've got Five Nights at Freddy's. The Exorcist is also about to come to Peacock, which I've heard is awful. The Marvels, Hunger Games. I got a lot of catching up to do. I'm back and we're going to do it all. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys at the theaters next week.